I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. You know, 90% of the residents in this community are good, hard-working people. And, you know, I feel terrible for them that the decisions of a few bad people are having the impact that it is right now. You know, what are the answers moving forward? You know, I have my ideas. I've been on the job for almost 30 years now. What I can tell you is that I'm not surprised by the violence that's been taking place. You know, and I'm going to get in trouble probably for this, but if I hear one more politician talk about, you know, what we need to do to stop the violence, we need more gun laws, we need this, we need that, quite frankly, I'm going to vomit. These people that say that have no idea what they're talking about. We have a lot of gun laws currently on the books that we do not enforce. I shouldn't say we don't enforce. We enforce them, but you have individuals getting locked up for illegal handguns and being released from custody the next day. That's disgusting. How does that happen? So if anybody is surprised that there's been an uptick in violence since we don't enforce the current gun laws that we have, I don't know what to tell you. But those are the facts. These politicians that want to say we need more gun laws, we need this, we need that, do me a favor, just stop talking, because you really don't know what you're talking about. Come and ask anybody that lives in these neighborhoods. I've had conversations over the last 3 weeks with dozens of people that live on these neighborhoods, that live on Bernard Street, that live on Pennsylvania Avenue. They don't believe any of the stuff you're saying. There needs to be accountability. I'll equate it to this. If you're speeding and you get pulled over by the police and it's a $5 fine, do you really care if you get pulled over speeding? Probably not, right? You need to get to where you need to get to. So if you're an individual who has an illegal handgun, or you're thinking about carrying an illegal handgun, and you know that you get stopped and arrested with that handgun, and you're going to get out of jail the next day, do you care if you get caught?
So the bail reform that the governor put in, that plays a major part in uptick in crime?
Bail reform, in my opinion, as a 30-year veteran in law enforcement and working in the city of Rochester for the last 30 years, bail reform has a significant impact on the amount of crime and the uptick in crime that's been occurring in our community and throughout New York State. Look at the numbers. I sent the numbers out not long ago. I don't hear a lot about it in the media, but the numbers are terrible. And anybody that says that bail reform is not part of the blame in that, again, you're fooling yourself. And please stop. It's not rocket science and how to try to have an impact and keep a community safe. And until we as citizens, want to be honest about, what we need to do, this unfortunately is going to continue. There's good people that make bad decisions, and there's bad people that make bad decisions. We need to be the adults in the room, and we need to raise our children and teach them how to do things right, and we need to instill in them good moral fabric. And part of that is, we're all kids, and when you were a kid and you did something wrong, you got punished, right? Whether you got sent to your room or you had to go stand, whatever it was, you got punished. So you knew that there was consequences for your actions. So if kids these days don't have any consequences, we're doing them a disservice, because we're not teaching them. We're not bringing them up the way they need to be brought up, and the way that most of us here got brought up.
What do you think about enforcing more strict gun laws? What would that look like at this point?
It's really not difficult. We have some of the toughest gun laws in the country. Why are we going to create more laws when we don't enforce the laws that we currently have on the books? I think we've set out numbers before. How many individuals that were victims or suspects in violent crimes, including homicides, were out on probation, were out on parole for other gun charges? Numbers don't lie, folks, and until we're honest with ourselves and we're honest with each other, this is going to continue. And I'm not sitting here saying that we need to lock everybody up. That is absolutely not the answer. 100% that is not the answer. But when you have the same people committing the same crimes over and over and over again, new laws aren't going to help them. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. and I've been involved in hundreds of homicide investigations here in the city of Rochester. Do you know how many of those homicide investigations involved individuals that owned legally registered handguns? Honestly, I can't remember one that wasn't justified or ruled as justified by a grand jury in which a suspect committed a murder with a legally owned handgun. So again, if these politicians want to get up and spew that we need more gun laws, they're just lying. They don't want to answer the real questions that need to be answered. Actions have ramifications. It's not all fun and games, and you need to stop and think. And it's incumbent upon us as adults to encourage our children to do the right thing and make the right decisions. That requires us being good examples for them. And you know, some of the things that we see, it's just not, you know, parents not being good examples for their children, and the children learn their behavior from their parents. You know, but these two victims today, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. High school graduates, their entire life is in front of them, and because a few people made terrible decisions, it's terrible, and I feel horrible for the families.
Feel compelled to carry guns, to use guns.
Kids are very impressionable, okay? And kids can be molded, and that's our job as parents and adults to do that. If kids feel that they can walk around and there's no consequences for their actions, they're going to partake in certain activity, okay? Again, some of us are older than others in the room, but there's certain things growing up that we wanted to do that were fun, right? But we didn't do them because we knew that there was consequences, and we didn't want to suffer those consequences. It's the same thing today, but unfortunately there isn't the consequences that me and the rest of you in the room had to face when we were growing up. So, you know, some people think that it's fun to carry a gun. Children, you know, some of the best conversations I had last night with a couple of the reverends and pastors that were on the scene. And, you know, they got it right. They know what the deal is in the neighborhood, and, you know, they're attempting to be role models for these kids. We need more role models from the community to stand up. We don't need to hear from people that don't live on Bernard Street, or don't live on Pennsylvania Avenue, or don't live on Wilkins Street. We don't need to hear from you what those neighborhoods need, okay? Because you have no idea, because you won't even walk down those neighborhoods. The people we need to listen to are the people that live on these streets. Because I'll tell you what, I've been talking to a lot of them the last 3 weeks, and they're sick and tired of what's going on, and you know, they're the ones that are suffering because other people, you know, are pretending to know how to solve problems and they don't.
Are you referring to the protesters, Frank?
Nope, I'm just referring about life in general. I'm not going to get into everything, but you know, people in the neighborhoods are getting frustrated, and I'm getting super frustrated because I've been hearing from them for the last 3 weeks, and I feel their pain. And you know, unfortunately, they work every day, 12 hours a day. They got families to feed, so they don't have time to, you know, be as vocal as they would like to. But they're talking loud and clear to us.
What are they saying to you? What are they saying that they want?
Well, I can't quote what they're saying, but they're telling these people to get the hell out of their city and let us take care of our problems the way we need to take care of them.